morning. I'm out putting myself through pain and misery again, trying to capture some autumn colour. As you drive into the peaks, there's just a riot of colour everywhere. You come down into the woods, not so much so. We're on the Longshaw estate, and I was kind of torn between about 4 different spots, and I thought, not really been round here before, so we'll take a mosey on down here. I've got the 70 to 200 on, mainly because I'm wanting to pull the focus in on the subject I'm shooting, which in this case is I'm guessing it's a baby oak tree. I haven't got close enough to really check. And to blur out the background, shooting at f2.8. No filters other than the polarizer, which is making a very small difference. Thanks to that, I've just turned around and seen a really nice shot there. But anyway, you should just be able to make out the little oak tree. And he's just got a little bit of colour on him, surrounded by other oak trees. But what attracted me was there's ferns that are browns and greens, and then in the background there are reeds and grasses. But there's almost a circle around him that is just grass with an entrance. It's the most bizarre thing. The only thing that spoils it, on the right hand side there is a wooden protective cage around presumably a sapling. And having watched Tom Heaton's video the other day, it's got me to thinking, should I be cloning stuff out? That's driving me crackers, because it's man-made and the rest of the scene is natural. I don't know. Instinct says get rid of it. It spoils the scene. But it is part of the scene, and therefore, should I leave it in? Answers on a postcard, please. We're at f2.8. We're at ISO 100 and 1/60th of a second. Sorry, I keep looking at the tree that I've just seen in the background. There are smatterings of colour. There's no wind, which is great, so I can shoot at a slower shutter speed than I normally would. I've turned VR off on the lens after 3 shots. Go, why is that blurred? That'll be my VR then. Vibration reduction. But there's nothing. It's almost misleading when you drive along the roads and there's just a riot of colour. The heather's going, not the heather, yeah, the heather, the ferns are all going autumnal green, browns and oranges. The trees, the leaves are sort of oranging and yellowing. But you come there and you get all excited and you think, yes, we've done it finally. No, get down here, there's no fold. But I will continue. I think I finally found an image that I like. Bear in mind I can't see where I'm pointing here. We've got these upright, and I'm going to take a gamble and say oak trees. And in the background, there is a very slightly curved oak tree with a other tree peeking out from its left-hand side. And there's just a splash of autumn colour on the side that's peeking out. Bottom left, there is a dead tree stump, which I'm not overly enamoured with, but I can't dig it up, so it's staying. And on the floor, there is a tree stump or a fallen branch. Again, doesn't float my boat, but I can't do a lot about it. I'm not about to go, I don't mind picking the odd blade of grass out, but I'm not going to go and shift a tree stump or a fallen branch. I tried it as a landscape orientation image with the left-hand tree. It just didn't float my boat. So I've zoomed in, still on the 70 to 200, still just with the polarizer on. And I've gone portrait orientation. I just have that right-hand tree or yeah, the curved right-hand tree with the little tree behind it poking out with the colour on it. I actually think I quite like that. It's taken me long enough to find an image that I like. I twiddled the polarizer to see what would be best, and I think I've taken polarization off. I'm having to be a little bit careful because if I zoom out a little bit, there's a chopped down tree stump on the right hand side that you may or may not make out from where you are, and that jars. Yes, it's almost got a natural thing on it. I'm going to have to move because there's some pedal cyclists coming along and I'm taking up the path. I tend to forget I'm taking up all the pathway. Yes, the chopped stump doesn't do anything for me. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the word. When you get a vignette, that's the word. It's almost giving a natural vignette. So the eye is just drawn to the bright coloured leaves. And so far, I think that is the one I am happiest with. And I've been tweaking the composition. And because I've got the 70 to 200 on, all my twiddly knobs and buttons and things are the wrong way around. So it's taking me forever to set the shot up. I'm turning right when I should be turning left and turning left when I should be right. And I'm having to be extremely careful with this lens. It's a hair trigger focus, mainly because it's got loads of sand in it from when I used to do motocross. But yeah, I'm happiest with that. The other thing I wanted to shoot today was fungi. And if I turn you around, 2 secs. Excuse me, moving you around. Zoom you in a little bit. That's as zoomed in as I can get. This little fungi patch here. That kind of attracted me. A little bit abstract. We've got some fungi coming in bottom right here, leading up. Lovely shape. They're a bit past the best, but you can't have it all. Just wandered a little bit further along the pathway and immediately was attracted by those 2 dead trees. And the instant I saw them, I went, running man. Yes, maybe I'm slightly deranged, I don't know. But that to me looks like an adult with a child teasing, come play with me. There's no leaves on it, and the branches are almost giving the effect of sort of a silver mist around it. It's got a fairly dark background. f2.8 again, just the polarizer on, although the polarizer isn't actually doing a huge amount because there's no real colours to bring out. It's letting the silver of the bark show through quite nicely. There's a bit of a video up here somewhere to show you what I'm talking about because you'll not see what I'm seeing on the camera. I've had to compose it fairly carefully because the top of that dead tree encroaches into the sky, so I've cropped it just to the skyline. I didn't want anything else in it. I like that. It's a bit different. And again, I'm trying to prove to myself, A, scouting missions are worth it, because I do have a tendency not to scout. I just rock up somewhere and go, oh my God, there's no photos to be had here. And also that I can get 1 or 2 images without fog, without snow, without frost, in woodland. Some beautiful oaks. This place has the potential to be incredible come winter. It really does. I'm excited. Roll on, winter. I like winter. I'm a winter person. So yes, that and that one have made this trip worthwhile. When I say that one, I mean the one I took of the lightly coloured leaves sticking out the side of the tree trunk. Yes. Nothing else has really jumped out at me. But those 2. There's some beautiful oak trees over there which are just on the cusp of turning, so maybe another trip back in a week or so is what's called for. But I always seem to go, oh look, there's lots of colour, I'll go out this weekend, and when I get there there's no colour. So it's making the best of what you're presented with. I was stood looking at the Running Man. I was turned to my left slightly. I don't know if I'm going to get into shot for this because I've zoomed you in. Let's have a wander down here. If I'm not in shot, you'll just have to make do with me talking. And I saw this row of 3. I'm going to gamble and say silver birch. And they've all just got little bits of colour hanging on in there. I took a test shot and there's some cages, wire cages around some of the trees in the background which didn't fill me with joy. So I've altered my composition slightly. The left hand one, there's sort of a group of 3 really close together, and then because I focused on them, the background is falling into out of focus, which is softening everything, and those leaves just clinging on to the silvers and golds, it just works with the silver bark. I wasn't coming out for very long today. I've been here about 3 hours. So yes, different to what I would normally shoot. I've cut the sky out, but I think it works because we've got the silvery green of the leaves and we've got the silver bark on the tree, and the base of the image there's just a thin slither of green grass. God, this place is going to be phenomenal in the winter. I'm so glad I decided to have a scout down here. I might not get much autumn colour, but by George, it's a good morning. Right, I think I'm going to head back. Well, I thought I'd finish off. I've had a wander around. I've found some lovely compositions, trying to balance, for winter, when we have snow and frost. And then on the way back, there's lots of these tree stumps that have got fungi at the bottom. And I love the way it starts here, and then it leads you in, and there's a very gradual incline up the bark of the tree. The green of the moss contrasts beautifully with these fungi. I'm shooting on the 70-200 still, so I'm quite a way back. I'm shooting at f2.8 still. The polarizer didn't have much of an effect, but I love the shape of that. There's another one over there, which I might go and have a look at. Slightly different shaped trunk with a mass of fungi at the bottom leading you up. Got to have a look at the background. What attracted me with this is there's nothing in the background. It's fairly clear. And that's it. I'm done. After done I is. I'm going to head home. It's 9:30. I've been out since 6:30, 6:45. And it's been a really good scouting trip. It's got me all excited for winter. So I hope you have a good week. Get out, get some images, scout around some places you've never been before. You just never know what you'll find. Have a good few weeks, guys and gals. See you soon. Toodaloo.